Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the December 27th Impact Review. How has Impact been doing throughout the year? We already know they've been doing a lot better since they changed how they've been doing their show. This is the last Impact of the year, flat out. So let's see what we got. The opening, I wish to say I'm very happy to see. With the WWE, they didn't do this, but the WWE talked about it somewhat throughout the night. But here, I liked how they presented it. The elementary school massacre, which is basically Sandy Hook. I live in New York, and I wish to give my condolences to the families of it. It sucks to know that those kids are gone. And I really feel sorry for the families because it had to hurt really bad. The way that Impact did the beginning of the show, they just did a basic text saying that we give our greatest condolences to the families of Sandy Hook Elementary. The music was nice. The format was nice. It wasn't that impersonal. I believe it wasn't. Because the way that the WWE did it, it wasn't bad having the ring announcers say they want to ring the bell for every person. But I thought it was a little much for me. Not saying it was in bad taste. This is what Impact did. This was done in good taste as much as the WWE did it. I admit that was a little bit more than I expected from WWE. But this was very well done. Now, first match of the night. We went straight into the television title between Angle and Devon. And I'm glad that this is not the World Championship. At least not yet. It looks like Aces and Eights is only, at this moment, focusing on the world title with Devon. I'm not saying there couldn't be something later in the months. I'm hoping not. I'd rather see them stick with this and do something entirely different with the World Championship. Because they tried that with Immortal and it didn't work. So keep it in the mid-card right now. Make Aces and Eights mid-card. I know it's dragged on a lot. And what Devon said in 2013, everything's going to finally come to a head. So it shows they're finally doing something now. So it's possible on the 3rd, we're going to see finally coming to a head just before Genesis or at Genesis. The match was a basic match. We've seen it before. We know that Aces and Eights did that little trick. And Angle lost. He did. And the G-Pack, which is a good guy pack, against Aces and Eights, I'm calling them G-Pack because you got Samoa Joe, you got Wes Briscoe, and you got Garrett Bischoff. That's a G-Pack. I'm just leaving it like that. It wasn't a bad segment, but it wasn't really a great segment, but it wasn't bad. Now, we now know that the clubhouse was not happy about what happened. Devon now says he has someone that he can bring in as extra muscle because the VP wants some extra muscle, but he doesn't want someone to come in as a new member. He doesn't. But Devon says he has. Now, I'll give my thoughts on that at the end of the review. Next, the female version of what basically Hulk Hogan has done for the X Division and the TV title. You now have Brooke Hogan, who had Tessmacher, you had Mickie Jane, Velvet Sky, and ODB. ODB is the first one kicked out. What are you going to do? She's already had her shot. Next is Tessmacher. She's kicked out. Okay. Last person is Velvet Sky kicked out. So we have basically Mickie Jane in a nice top with... Look, you can say whatever you want about Mickie Jane having small boobs. If you're a guy that just wants a pair of boobs in his hands, it don't matter what size they are as long as you can grab them. Yes, if you want a preference, but if you haven't had some in a while, which I am one of them. No, I'm 21 of them. You go for what you can get your hands on and it don't make a difference. It's like a man who has not eaten for a long time. As long as you feed him a cracker, he's happy. I think, who said that line? Eddie Murphy said that line. If you're a starving man, you get a cracker, you think it's the best in the world. And that pretty much is what I got. I'm happy with it. The match itself was not that great. And since there's no storyline with it, it felt empty. I really feel sad about how the direction of the knockouts is. I'm hoping they change this and give them storylines again, because we're not getting anything. We're not. I'm just hoping they'll do something more. Maybe more people will come into the knockouts after January, so I'll keep it at that. Morgan Ryan versus RVD, and long live the king, Kenny King, baby. The tag team match, which I was actually quite surprised seeing this one match for the tag teams. What happened to Chavo and what happened to Superman? There was no sign of them. So I was actually quite surprised, because this is Championship Thursday. They should have had a championship match for the tag teams, but I took it for what it was. Ryan and Morgan goes over, and the entrance for Ryan and Morgan, what the hell was Joey Ryan doing? Doing like one-armed push-up with Morgan with his old, it just kind of looked weird. And that's how most of the match went. Kind of weird. I don't know what it was. No, it wasn't that. That wasn't weird. There was something else that was weird. Something else later in the night. I'll have to check. But look, the match was a basic match. Kenny King screws RVD, gives RVD something to do. I'd rather see Kenny King give more instead of just doing this with RVD, but it looks like they want to make him into a heel, which is fine. Kenny King looked like he could pull it off, but he deserves a little more than just to be a chicken shit heel. I feel that he can be a main event heel. Go through the X Division, show how good he is, show how tough he is. He doesn't need to lose to Rob. He could have just kicked his ass and show how rough and tough he is as a heel. I would like to see that. But you never know. Maybe they may get him to that point. So I'll leave it at that. Now, the segment with Kaz and Daniels in the ring, and the segment with Kaz at before that, Kaz talking about, I got a present for you. Cool. I'm glad about that. They're keeping up, trying to do something there. And when they go to the in-ring segment, that was funny. There was a weird part. I just remembered. Seeing Daniel sitting on Santa's lap. That looked a little weird. Seeing an older, bald-headed man sitting on Santa's lap saying, "Oh, good Santa, I've been a good boy." Yeah, how much of a good boy you want to be? Sheesh. Seeing James Storm come out afterward and doing his little bit, I liked it. At the end, hearing a couple of people laughing their head off when he says, "Yeah, I'm Santa Claus," and he said, "Shut up." He did a good little bit, and then super kicking Santa. I'm sure people are going to say, no, Father Christmas shouldn't be treated like that, but remember, this isn't Father Christmas. Obviously, he knew that he was fake. Obviously, everyone who knew it was fake, and obviously, he had to get super kicked so James Storm could get over. And with the British Fish saying the decline of James Storm, hopefully, this is the beginning for him to rise back up. I know this is a very small bit. It's not much, but at least it's something. We have to have something at the end of the year. I'm really sure they will bring James Storm back up. I'm hoping they won't let this crash with James Storm, because he is a very good wrestler, good character, and it'll work. This is the part that's upsetting, which I realize it was thought of 1/3/13. We wondered what it was, and we finally found out it was Sting. He looked like old Sting, not the Joker Sting. Before he went to the Joker style, he was more of trying to be his older self. So it looks like they're trying to bring back the more vicious type of Sting, a more colder, heartless Sting. It's going to count on how he presents himself and how good he is going to be in the ring. Went away a couple of months before. He had been coming back. He got himself into better shape. I'm hoping he got himself even more better shape so he can go in the ring, because he got young guys that's going to go in the ring with him, including Devon. Devon's younger than him. The guys in Aces and 8 are younger than him. He's got to be able to go at least a little better than he was at the beginning of the year when he was very badly winded most of the time. Like I said, he was able to come back after being gone for a couple of months, got in some good shape, and he was able to go better in the ring. I'm hoping being gone this long, he really got himself in very good shape. I know he's 53, 54 years old, but it doesn't mean a man cannot still get in great shape. He can get himself in good shape. So let's hope that happens, and let's hope they do something with Aces and 8 with him that's not crap. Now, the bit I forgot to put in with the championship for the knockouts. A little something for commentary. Commentary most of the night. You have Mike Tenay talking more and sometimes talking over Todd. I didn't like it. Todd brought a lot of energy to this team. And I'm hoping they're going to phase out Mike Tenay. He may understand what's going on in the ring, but when before he wouldn't talk that much, it was actually more entertaining. Now, this time around, he was talking over Todd. And a lot of times talking over Taz. And I just didn't like it. Hearing Taz do a fart, or that was an actual fart, was funny. Don't know if it was real or not, but at least it was something. Now, OVW, yes. I'm glad they're still doing this. Show Joseph Park and OVW periodically. They just showed him in a short segment, learning the ropes, and being with all the people who have gone through gut check, which was good. Showing what's going on with the gut check people as well as with Joseph Park gives more to the show. We need to know these guys are going to come back. We need to know these guys are being trained. Even this was about Joseph Park. You could see the guys from OVW training. And this was a good thing. Seeing Joseph bleed and then show one hint of abyss saying, "I'm not Joseph," and a black hole slams somebody and snaps out of it was a good segment. It didn't have to be long. It just had to be effective. And it was good to see this effective little bit. Now let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything here. Anything else here? No. Okay. Hardy and Austin Aries. It was a longer match than I expected. Austin Aries had his little promo early tonight trying to hype up this match. It wasn't that bad, but you know what? I was really questioning if this was going to be a good match. It wasn't bad. These two can put on a good match. This is their third time being together. The question now is what's going to happen next. Austin Aries gets screwed by Robert Roode. Robert Roode makes Austin Aries lose, and they end the show with that in the ring, but the outside of the ring, the in-ring work was done, and then they went to the outside of the ring, out in the parking lot, well, inside lot, and they had a little segment with Hulk Hogan, and he did one early in the night, and where Aces and Eights tried to screw him, saying, "We're going to do what we're going to do, we're going to get you, you won't see it." Bully Ray comes out and tries to stop Hulk Hogan enemies from hurting him. A lot of people really wanted those two to shake hands and they didn't, which was good. They still followed the storyline last week. Now, this week, seeing Bully Ray and Brooke Hogan locking up and Hulk Hogan watching it, it's obvious they're going to go through with this. Is it more entertaining than the WWE? Honestly, it is. I know it doesn't sound like it, because we don't see what's going to go on with this triad of Bully Ray with Hogan and Brooke. There's no way of seeing how far they're going to go with this and what it's going to turn. Will Brooke be part of Aces and Eight or not? This is a question. I don't know. But I can say it's more entertaining. Last week, seeing Hogan, Terry, and Mark arguing with one another felt more real than what you get in WWE. It's obvious. And seeing this adds on to it. You may not like it. Yes, it's not a great segment. The end. You could have put something else there. But you know what? It's better to see this. I'd rather see this than what I've been getting WWE. Grade for this is a B-. Mainly because there was no tag team championship belt. Not at all. Not one bit. We didn't see Chavo and Superman. Seeing the knockouts with no type of storyline and no direction is another bit that just didn't feel right. Seeing OVW and Joseph Park with the gut check group, no problem. I like that. Sting coming back, I'm glad Sting's coming back, but hyping it that way just didn't feel right. They didn't have to hype it that way. It felt like something else, and at least it didn't have a full effect for me. Could be someone else, and I wouldn't mind what they say is true. Leave a comment below saying if Sting did something, they did the segment with Sting properly. It wasn't a bad bringing back Sting, but it just didn't feel like it was the right way to do it with Sting. It could have been something else, saying the plague is coming, the destructor is coming, the destroyer is coming, Sting is coming, but it didn't have that same effect. It could have been some other way. Something else. It just didn't feel right. It felt like that was meant for the Abyss than for Sting. Sting doesn't have the same thing as Abyss. Doesn't. But it doesn't mean it was a bad thing. It just didn't feel like it was right for him. They could have used something else. So I'll leave it at that. Now, I said earlier that my thoughts about who Devon's bringing in. One thought could be Austin Aries, because now he's been screwed. Another could be Robert Roode. But I'm thinking someone else. I'm thinking someone that needs to come back we haven't seen in a while. He came back for a short time and then disappeared. I'm thinking Mr. Anderson. I could be 100% wrong, but the thing is, Mr. Anderson has been screwed several times. He has not gotten his shot. He has been basically screwed trying to help Hogan, so he might be the best person to bring back and have as Aces and Eights extra guy. Even if he's not coming into the club, he could help Aces and Eights because they said they need more bodies, but they don't want a new member. So my guess is the person Devon's talking about is Mr. Anderson. Maybe we'll see him next week, but it could still be Austin Aries, and it could be someone else that we haven't even noticed. So I hope you enjoyed the Zane's View of Impact review. Subscribe and comment to Zane's View. I'm sorry I did not do my Super SmackDown Live review, mainly because I was busy and I didn't like it. So when I had the time, something told me not to do it because I just didn't like the show. I didn't. It didn't feel right. Some good things happened during it. I would have gave it a C. That's how I would have gave the Super SmackDown Live if I did a review. So you have a good day. Take care, ladies and gentlemen.